Since everybody on the networks thinks that climate change is about to bring doom and gloom to us, you won't be hearing this on the network. So please contribute. Keep us on, because Dan McTeague is here to give you the goods on climate change. I saw through Blacklocks the other day, and there's a survey done by the environment that's saying so many Canadians, particularly 40 and under, are traumatized, and that they feel helpless, poor dears, because they think the world is going to be ending because of climate change. It's like when Al Gore is saying, we got to do something in a few years or else we're all going to drown. Total bullshit.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And, but we've been teaching all these people that we are about to go down.
Well, if you teach these young people to believe that everything is bleak, the outlook is terrible, that we can change the weather and that we're on the wrong path, and we say things like CO2 are a pollutant, which is scientifically corrupt. You can't make a statement like that. No scientist worth their money, unless they're getting paid by the government, would make that kind of a statement. But you have now created, I think, a generation of kids, of younger adults, who now believe that there is peril around the corner. And with that, of course, we're seeing an example of what is going on in Canada, and that's around the world. People truly believe the future is very bleak. There will be no future. It's climate catastrophism pushed by climate bedwetters.
Climate bedwetters, you're absolutely right. First of all, I mean, the conceit that we can change the climate is an amazing conceit, but we've convinced generations that we can and we aren't. Yeah. And which is not only why Trudeau got elected for years and years, but our economy is going down the toilet. So how do we deal with the fact that we have all these people who are, as you say, wacko?
Well, we've just gone through one of the coldest months of May here in Ontario.
Yes.
In at least 20, 30, 40 years. I can remember in 1982, the House of Commons, working up there for Paul Cosgrove, and it was very cold that particular May, and I think that's the time we go back to.
So the rule from that is that climate is cyclical. It changes all the time.
It's dynamic. Atmosphere in itself requires several scientific disciplines. So anybody who says they're an expert in one area will be contested by another. This is something a good friend of mine, who was a former climate scientist, said. But the issue is not so much how we've made a mistake in misleading people. It's that the net zero policy is still in place. I haven't heard from Mark Carney or anyone else. Are they planning to abandon that? Because it's not only misled people, it's also created economic ruin.
So, but I mean, this new government is saying they've seen the error of their ways.
Well,
I think Trudeau could never have, and I mean, we look at those Trudeau ministers. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how they can be in this government.
Well, they shouldn't be in this government, but unless, of course, they've bought into what Mr. Carney is proposing. That's maybe a conversion on the way to Damascus. I don't know. Whatever it should be, let's hear from them once and for all. Because if you're going to say you're building a pipeline corridor, an energy corridor from east to west, you're going to get rid of, which you're not going to do, carbon emissions. You're going to not put caps on the oil and gas sector. If you're not going to get rid of EV mandates, what are we really talking about? It looks like it's window dressing up until the time in which we sort of say, well, hang on a second, maybe it's not so bad he reimposes these things.
It's not so bad if Carney reimposes?
Yes. The old net zero program that Trudeau had put in place, along with his help. There's no doubt in my mind, no one has pulled back from the net zero policies. All the various facets of that policy, which are extraordinarily damaging.
I hope you're wrong. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.